Hex.
Oh, where's Dream?
Hex.
Oh, okay.
You know, he's been sitting up all night thinking about this play right now, and he's going to die straight after him. He got shocks and nice control, but still dead with the support of the gyrocopter. So we're 14-10, 15 minutes in. We start with a 700 gold advantage going the way of KPG, and 1,200, 1,300 experience advantage. As far as towers go as well, it's 2 for the price of 1 right now. The tier 1 tower goes down in mid, where we've seen the tier 1 towers on the side lanes for DT lost.
So it looks like you would kind of expect this out of the lineup from KPG. They got really aggressive with their Enchantress. They have taken down both of the tier 1 towers in the side lanes and have still been able to defend decently well on their side of the map. But looks like Dreamtime are going to start trying to take control of this map, and it comes right as the mech is being picked up by the Viper. So really good timing. They need to start taking some of these towers so they can get a faster Blink Dagger for the Tidehunter.
Well, the pushes will be coming, so just a straight up tower trade. That's all we're really looking at right now. They might be able to push in a little bit harder, though. With Necro units, Forge Spirits, and Undead Army. The Undead Army is about to die, but they could give it a crack. And the push on the top lane is really not the greatest. The Mass Open Wards are being held onto. Fortification, okay. Triple TP's in. The Mass Open Wards trying to hold him here with the cooldown Anchor Smash. So much damage being taken off. Goddamn. Gyrocopter has to use the BKB for protection. Now the Dream Call holding in both up. Poor little Tidehunter. He's about to go down. Tries to TP himself out of safety. Won't happen. ZSC, he's got almost enough life points to survive this one. 50 points will bring down the tower. And somehow we have Bloodseeker as well as the Earthshaker survive through all of that. Sunstrike attempting to snipe out the Viper on the way out as well. And the fight goes the way of DT as well as the tower.
Yeah, a huge blunder there from KPG trying to force that fight, despite the fact they were going to make a favorable trade, because they were pushing much faster than Dreamtime could. So they could have actually laid down the middle tier 1 tower and probably put in a lot of damage onto the tier 2. And if they wanted to force the fight around there with them being the aggressors, sure, because at that point in time, if you're on the enemy side of the map forcing the team fight and you actually win it, you stand to gain so much because you're right on that tier 2. You can finish off the tier 2, maybe go back and do Roshan or something like that. But as it was, teleporting back like that just didn't really make sense, considering the fact that their current, like what they were doing before, which is just pushing in through middle, would have gained them a big advantage.
Man, Jet's trying to give this Roshan an attempt. Now, there's some surfboard near here, but it's not really being spotted out. Now the ping is actually arriving from DT. So they might be thinking about just having a bit of a scout out, but who can really go over? With Ravage down, Earthshaker, well, he's got a fissure, but he's got nowhere to jump in. And PGG is the man who's close enough to everybody here, but also at the same time, like, there's no way he can contest up against us with no Mass Serpent Wards either. So Roshan goes the way of KPG, and then moving directly into the Radiant jungle at the perfect timing. Still no ultimates up, which means they might be able to try and force out the tier 2 tower on the bottom.
Yeah, they've got this heavy push strat with the Necrobook 3 from the Invoker, so that Aegis ensures they can continue to force fights, and they will have an advantage here. Especially just keep forcing it while the Tidehunter doesn't have a blink. That's a critical part of the of Dreamtime's Dream Team's, excuse me, keep saying Dreamtime. Dream Team's team fight strategy here, they need to be able to bring several heroes down below 50%. That's when Bloodseeker starts becoming really effective as a carry, if you can get multiple heroes low. But they need the initiation. They need that sort of stun setup, the follow-up, Earthshaker, Fissure. You know, that by itself could actually bring 2 of the supports really low, and the Bloodseeker can just gobble them up real quickly. But they need to have that jump first, and while that Blink Dagger is still not up for the Tidehunter, KPG can take advantage of that and just take down the rest of the tier 2s.
Well, they're going to try, man. Round 2 fight, or at least our round 2 for today. They'll try and push into the bottom lane now. It's a really nice position for the Tidehunter. He's really hidden in the corner. Can actually get a 3-man Ravage just by sitting inside the trees. But she decides to walk himself out, but PGG, he's the man to jump in. The Mass Open Wards actually force him out with the Fissure. Jet was caught inside that one, but the Ravage is a nice follow-up. They need some more damage onto the Gyro, but the Bloodseeker, who's BKB protected, just starts fighting this one up. He's looking for another opening. The Puck, however, sniping out that Viper at the back end. Now the Earthshaker gets the Echo Slam and the Fissure, actually holding goddamn close enough. The Master Wards can do some nice damage, but the stick charges will keep him alive. And with Rockets chasing after Mo, he's going to back himself up from the tier 2 tower. The Rocket's actually going to go down before he'll connect on the target. And he's wanting to come back in here, but it's still a 4v3 situation. But with the low life points over on the Enchantress, he is currently being thirsted and like buffed up at the moment. So he might just have enough confidence to come in really, really close. Baits out another rocket. Secondary sets of TPs are coming in. And now Gush to start with over on the gyro. Remember, he's got no BKB and PGG. He needs to actually get some damage here in a goddamn, but didn't actually get it in time. So Bloodseeker, there's no buff up for him, so he cannot chase down this Enchantress. The Sprite's healing her up.
Yeah, it's not a big surprise that Kompas Gaming walk away from that team fight the victors just because of the fact that the whole entire idea of their dream team trying to force the fight and going for the gyrocopter first, who had the Aegis, it just was never going to fare well. But Seeker needed to be able to utilize his BKB, his first BKB charge, better than he did. Like, he used it just to be able to go on the gyrocopter, and yet the rocket barrage damage was still being applied to the Viper. So in essence, BKB did absolutely nothing for the Bloodseeker. You need it to be able to finish off those supports. He needs to be able to utilize it in order to kill the Enchantress, who he can't right-click down due to the high level of Untouchable, as well as taking out the Skywrath out of the fight really early on, so he doesn't just constantly lay down that magic damage.
PGG is being really over-aggressive right now, and he's going to pay the price for it. The orb damage from Rage and the Sunstrike. Perfectly positioned by Jet. That was just a simple Arcane Orb with Rift as well as Orb coming out from the puck. And then Sunstrike to finish the job. PGG was trying to look over towards the Rune area. That was his goal, but he walked right underneath the Dire Observer Ward.
Haystrom being picked up by the gyrocopter. Looks like he's going to have an MKB in a very short period here, as he's already got the Demon Edge, so he's looking great on farm. He's already got 11,000 net worth, and the other thing is the Invoker's not far behind him either. So I think Kompas Gaming actually have everything they need to be able to just 5-man down the last tier 2 at the top lane, take control of the map, maybe wait for Roshan, but I think this is a very simple play for Kompas Gaming, which is just control the map and farm until Roshan, they get the Aegis, they go uphill. That's all they really need. It's going to be up to the Dream Team to try and find some openings, which is exactly why they're going for a 4-man smoke right now.
Yeah. They actually had the whole shebang. The Viper was also caught inside that. So it's the 5-man smoke moving into the Dire side jungle. They're very, very lucky, however. They didn't get caught out by that very aggressive Observer Ward the Skywrath Mage just put down over on the Radiant side. They were just a little bit far enough to the right that didn't get flagged out. Now, the question I've really got is, what can they really do with this? They need KPG to show themselves. Now, the smoke wears off, and the pings instantly come out. They say they're up on top of the cliff. That came from the Skywrath Mage. So KPG's got the choice now. Do they try and fight? And now they get me ready for this Blink Ravage. Mass Serpent Wars try and force out the tier 2 tower. Not really a great amount of AoE clearance coming out here from KPG, so they can get rid of a couple of these Mass Serpent Wars, but the creep wave was still causing them some problems. But maybe they don't care, because Invoker, Forge Spirits, and Necro units being pumped out, they're going for the tier 2 tower in the top lane, which forces the push from DT to stop. So Mass Serpent Wars have been expended, they didn't take a tower, and they're having just as much damage being dealt to the tier 2 tower on the top.
Honestly, the Zoo strat from Invoker is one of the most obnoxious strategies in the game. He just lays down Forge Spirits, which are really tanky. The Necrobook 3s also have a ton of health. It's very hard for any non-core to deal with that kind of push. In fact, even some offlaners can't deal with that push by themselves. So you have to commit like one of your carries or your mid to be able to stop that push. And even then, they're going to lay down a significant amount of damage. You can see the tier 2 went down before Bloodseeker could even put a stop to it.
So what are you supposed to do here if you're DT?
It's continue to smoke up, try and find those openings. They do have the Blink Dagger now for the Tidehunter. They need to find some openings. They don't want to be pushed into a position where Kompas Gaming 5-man into their base and they have to get a brilliant Ravage in order to save the game. Like, they need to start being on the offensive. They need to try and go for another smoke gang.
Yeah. Well, they can give it a shot, man, but right now, the second they went for a smoke gank in the middle lane, you can see what KPG did. They realized everyone's missing from the map, so they just backed themselves up. So whenever there's two people not showing themselves inside the lanes, they go, okay, well, we know what they're trying to do. But at the same time, KPG with their own smoke, I'm interested to see if this can even work. Necro units off cooldown 3 seconds time, so maybe they will have enough power to try and force the fight up against DT.
Yeah, if they pick off, if they'd been actually managed to pick off the Bloodseeker there with that smoke, that would have been like a game-ending play. The smoke gank right in front of the base as the lane is being pushed in, middle also being pushed in as well. That very simply would have been probably bottom racks, possibly even mid racks as well.
Look at the money, it was a good idea. Bloodseeker too. What is he spending his money on here?
He's farmed up a lot. You actually take a look at the CS, he is almost topping out the chart He's been keeping in step with the Gyrocopter the whole way, so this is not your normal, like, really aggressive Bloodseeker that's trying to move around the map and get kills. He's actually spent most of his time farming.
This kind of feels like a Radiance build Bloodseeker.
Yeah,
which is really disgusting when you think about it.
You can't really go for Radiance in this game, I don't believe, because 2 of the cores have BKBs.
So what else would you do? Like, you could try and build into like a fast Desolator to try and rip them apart from the inside.
I don't know. Normally, I just prefer to see regular stats on Bloodseekers, so I think S and Y is actually a great item for him. The BKB is obviously essential, so I like his build so far. I am kind of interested to see what he's going to use this, because he has to get... I don't think he can wait for a really big luxury item. Like, he can't go for one of the 6K items just because I don't think they need something that's going to be able to benefit them now. Yeah. Otherwise, they're going to lose out to the Roshan fight. But I'm not sure what exactly that could be. I mean, he could go for...
He could attempt Abyssal Blade. Like, that's one other option he could try and go down.
I was thinking about a Basher, but he just doesn't have the attack speed for it, right? So it's iffy because he has no attack speed items but that hand.
He basically needs to get straight to the Abyssal Blade. Like, the Basher is going to be it might help out if you get really, really lucky, but your attack speed, as you said, is not going to be great enough to go, yes, I'm going to get, like, permanent Bash over on this Gyrocopter. Yeah. But if he's able to pick up that Abyssal Blade and lock down the Gyro at the start of the fights, that could be even better for him. And there's no point to go any other, like, other massive item. Like, Butterfly is pointless for him with the Monkey King bar already coming out from the Gyrocopter, so, yeah. He still keeps the money coming in. 4.8k.
I have a funny feeling that you're actually right about this Radiance. I don't like it.
I'm not a massive fan of it either. The only reason why I think of it is because it's what you always used to do with the Bloodseeker.
Yeah, and when you've saved up this much gold. Like, normally you would have committed it to something by now. In fact, I almost have a feeling that Axmo doesn't even know exactly what he wants to do with this. Like, I think he figures if he gets picked off here while he's farming, he will probably be forced to buy back, and he'll be able to buy some sort of smaller item. But at the same time, if he can save up enough, he can get one of those big luxury items, whether that's Radiance or, you know, the Mega Basher, whatever it is.
Well, he's backing up now, so PGG's kind of left by himself on this bottom lane. Also, PGG going Ogre Club as well as Bracer. He gets a shock over. The silence, however, will control him here. He'll evade the Sunstrike for now, and then attempt his own TP out. Well, PGG. Like, nice attempt there, but the Skywrath Mage comes in with a Mystic Flare and will get a kill. But they do kill off, they triggered Necrobooks level 2. I suppose that's one upside right now for DT, the fact that KPG don't have the double Necros.
Well, there it is. Radiance has been finished up by the Bloodseeker. It's still decent timing, 20 minutes in. He can run down the supports. The puck is going to be pretty squishy from this as well. I think he has to kind of hope that he doesn't pop any of the Necro melee minions with the burn at an inopportune time, because there's obviously the Necrobook 3 from the Invoker as well as the Necrobook 2, soon to be level 3 for the puck.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's one of those things where he needs to get a life item directly after this. Like, this is almost one of those games where if I didn't see the Monkey King bar, I'd be like, hey, like, build into a halberd, give yourself some evasion and strength, and then you've got, like, disarm potential too.
Yeah, he'll probably just pick up a value vitality booster here, and then decide from there whether he wants to fully invest in the heart or if he goes for another.
It depends how much space KPG are willing to give him. Because right now, KPG, it seems like they just back themselves off waiting for the right time to go.
I think it's Roshan. I'm not sure that. I don't think they've scattered it out yet. In fact, that's
look at the pings coming out. They're waiting for Gorek just to move in just a little bit too close. Earthshaker's not going to jump anymore. They wanted more support coming in.
Well, even if they do find this pickoff, this is a perfectly fine trade for Kompas Gaming, who are going to be doing Roshan in the meantime. So the moment they see a number of heroes in this top lane.
Up. Yeah, there's too many heroes missing from DT. I think KPG are a little like running scared at the moment.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. They almost wanted the puck to die in the top lane, but now they're going to commit to Roshan. It's still risky from them, but they did see 2 additional heroes in this top lane, and that's why they're going to go for it. And, well, that's a bad position here for DT, because they're going to get to the tier 2, at the same time that Kompas Gaming can get there with their Aegis, and there's no way they can force that fight.
Yeah, and nothing's really been expended either. Like, the Invoker's the first one to come in, but I'm looking at both level 3 Necro units untouched. So they did not have to be used. Use correct freaking grammar. So, yeah, DT cannot take this fight in any way, shape, or form. If they try, they're dead. And ZXT's going to be the first one, and Puck's going to catch him out. He could get himself a 4-man coil if he just jumped in there. But decided not to. The Necro units are chasing him down. Sunstrike going to trigger there on the Viper. Still not going to use that mech. Dream Coil was actually wafted there by Gorak. But you still got the rocket coming in. It's going for PGG. BKB as well as Cooldown being used. Now Gyrocopter slowed down. It's the Rupture going at him, and he actually gets through the BKB. But the Aegis Immortal, wow, goddamn, kills off the Viper. And he's on the 89 life points. Now he will go down with a respawn. But the Echo Slam in from the Earthshaker at the right time. Trying to reach the Invoker on 41 life points. Moving away from the Mass Serpent wards. But nobody could reach him. All 5 heroes being lost for DT after it looked like that Earthshaker fissure was going to turn the entire thing around.
Brilliant play there from Jet, actually turning on the Shadow Shaman at the right time. In general, that team fight was just messy as all hell, because once again, they went for the Gyrocopter who had the Aegis. Now, Bloodseeker did what he could, which is he immediately tries to use his BKB duration to go for the Enchantress, but you need that first kill for a Bloodseeker. That is what he is the definition of a snowball hero in team fights. If you get the first kill, you have a good chance of being able to snowball from there, because any damage that is done to you is just taken away from that kill you got. You're healed up, you're back to full again, and then you go for the next kill, and the kill after that, and the kill after that. They just didn't have a good initiation. They did not have the Tidehunter Earthshaker come in at the right time. They tried to force the fight with the Bloodseeker first, and he was already dead by the time the 2 melee initiators could jump because of the BKBs. Yeah.
And what else are you supposed to do? Like, you turn around up to that point as well, and you haven't got yourself a kill. Your BKB is completely worn off, and you're sitting there as a Bloodseeker, you're still realizing you've only got 1,500 life points, and that's not enough. That's not enough right now, and you've skilled your ultimate out, or you use your ultimate over on a BKB target. Well, that's nice because it's HP removal. You've got nothing else left to try and intimidate these heroes that are already moving freely around the map. More Sunstrikes coming in. They're looking at PGG, and PGG walks up high ground, gets rifted, gets orbed, and actually Dream Call him too. Okay, come on, Puck. Didn't need that. But PGG goes down inside of his jungle.
PGG is not having a good time.
There wasn't even movement for like aggressive observer wards. He had nothing on him.
You know who is having a great game? Enchantress is currently sitting 4th on the net worth board, only 1,000 behind the Bloodseeker in farm. He's got a BKB, an Aghanims, Midas, as well as a Treads.
Not too shabby, man.
He's gonna be turning into a nice little carry alongside the Gyrocopter and the Invoker. Which is why you see Dream Team not
middle
trying
lane.
to press the
They're
issue.
in a lot of trouble right now. There's already the rift going on Viper. The cooldown will not reach him in time. The Sunstrike will be able to connect. And finally, Gorak didn't actually jaunt himself over to that. With no commitment coming out there from KPG. It's just Forge Spirits and that's all.
Dream Coil is a low cooldown, but you know, if he hadn't used it to kill PGG, probably would have gotten a kill on the Viper there.
That's why you don't overcommit your abilities. Now, bottom lane Titan's also out a very long way. It looks like he's trying to build into a Refresher Orb, trying to come the way of the Tidehunter. It's going to take him a very, very long time to reach that, especially when he dies on the bottom lane. And he might, well, actually, he's got no TP scroll, so he has to evade them for now. Sunstrike and Mystic Flare, perfectly positioned. And the Tide just melts in the trees.
It was a nice attempt at a dodge, but unfortunately for him, both the AoE of the Sunstrike and the Skywrath Mage ultimate were still hitting him.
Bloodseeker's trying to come for a kill. PGG just pinged it out. I don't know what he's asking for, though, because this is PGG trying to build a BKB as opposed to a Blink Dagger. So we can't initiate for the team. And top lane, well, Enchantress, untouchable, not going to make it too difficult, though. BKBs from both targets. And Bloodseeker will take the kill here. And Invoker, on his way up, realized the BKB is going to wear off. And Mo's got no bonus movement speed. Tornado picks him up, and nice fissure.
Beautiful.
That's actually going to hold Jet in the tree line. A 4-star away. So even that concussive shot did fly out. The Sunstrike on his tail, but not able to connect. And Phase Boots, well, the duration that's going to wear off. They call down the tree line. Not that's just searching for vision so they can stop him from TPing out. But there's more support coming in. The Viper's coming in through the rear here. And Earthshaker, what a nice seal, actually stops any kind of follow-up fissure here. The Ice Ball's on the way, but now in comes Viper. The Earthshaker will die on one side of the trees. Bloodseeker on the other. Mass Serpent Wars down from PGG. Holding the Puck in position. Definitely Blast will push him back, and Puck caught inside the phase shift. Can he get himself out? Yes, he can. blinks himself west with the skies of blue. Zexy getting another orb into him. It's actually going to be both the illusionary orb and the Sunstrike flying his way. No follow-up jaunt, but it's an Enchantress going down for almost the entire team, and there we go. Double kill coming in for the Gyro. And the Tidehunter is walking himself up on the top to the top lane, but walks himself back directly after. Not even part of that one after his death on the bottom lane.
Yeah, this Dream Team just making desperation plays at this point in time. They know how far behind they're going to be going into the late game, and Kompas are doing a great job controlling the map and farming up on their 3 heroes.
You got a Satanic over on the Gyrocopter now.
Yeah.
They can't even kill the Gyro. They don't have enough control time and burst damage to kill off the Gyro.
So it means the Bloodseeker can't really be going for him, so they're all going to be hit by the flat cannon because they can't actually go and burst down the Gyrocopter. The only hope is actually like the melee initiators. I mean, they still have the big plays behind the Ravage as well as the Echo Slam. There's a lot of potential there for upset, even though they're so far behind. It's just the problem is it's going to be up to Kompas Gaming. They have to group up and allow a really good Ravage or Echo Slam to catch them out before the BKBs are active.
Yeah.
And so far, you're just not seeing those kind of mistakes from Kompas, right? They're sticking together. They're still farming up all the lanes and keeping them decently well pushed, but they're also making sure to address the attempts by Dream Team. Like, for example, the Tidehunter pushing in bottom or Bloodseeker going for that top lane. They're going for these desperation split pushes where they're just trying to buy themselves time and get farm before the 5-man death push comes.
I got a funny feeling that push is already on its way. Like, you got Scythes to Vice over on Skywrath Mages. You've got Hyperstones on the Enchantress, so your attack speed's already through the roof. You got Invoker with his own Scythe to Fire, Satanic's Monkey King bars. Everything you want is there for KPG. Now, their smoke's going to break, and they get the initial Hex over on the Earthshaker. Cold Snap and just a couple of Impetus get the kill, and Viper makes the right choice. TP back to base. But they got an Alpha Wolf behind. Actually, that Alpha Wolf's timing out. With all the bonus damage they were enjoying, now that's going to go down the drain. I don't think they really care. They still got double Necrobook level 3s. They can go high ground. In 16 seconds time, sorry. One's on cooldown.
All right. It all comes down to this buyback play. Tidehunter teleports back, goes for the Ravage, follow up by Earthshaker buying back, teleporting in, blinking himself in, getting a good follow-up Echo Slam.
This is going to be really...
the only hope.
Oh, there goes your Ravage. They might be bringing down the Gyrocopter here, but he's going to turn BKB, and then with the Mystic Flare Satanic, he's going to keep enough life with him, and Bloodseeker actually brings him down. Now the Earthshaker jumps out, but the Echo Slam was on top of a BKB target. PGG then out way too far, and they'll mop up the Mass Serpent Wards. Or will they? They'll back themselves up. With the loss of the Gyrocopter, safety TPs are going out, and Jet's going to come to defend the top lane push, which is coming as well.
Yeah, 1 for 2, and they know for the next 2 minutes there's going to be no ultimates for Dream Team, so they can probably push once they heal up and the Gyrocopter's up. They can probably go 5-man down mid in time. It's going to be a little close, but I like what Dream Team are doing here. They're trying to move out with their 3 heroes, despite the fact that it's 3 versus 4. They're still actually going to move out and try and take control of the map because they have no other options at this point. They have no late game potential.
They have to hunt, and they just got themselves a really good opening. If they can get that initial attack over to Puck, okay, now he's going to get, well, silenced, but obviously that doesn't stop his blink, so he's away to safety. But they know with X mode, they can just run themselves across the map and try and find some quick kills. While the Gyrocopter's not up, and maybe you can still just get 1 or 2 pickoffs. Keep some level of advantage going your way.
It'd be interesting. I'm actually interested to see how well the Bloodseeker is going to do, since it's very obvious we're going to go into at least 45 minutes for this game. That's usually where late game, I think you could classify it. Bloodseeker late game, you don't really see it too often, especially in a 1 position. And I haven't really seen it since the Blood Rage change, which no longer gets debuffed by BKB. So he can Blood Rage himself, go through with that BKB. He can hit really damn hard. Just problem is going to be all about kiting, right? Kompas Gaming have an incredible amount of good disables to mess him up. So it's going to be all up to that BKB. How much can he do in these 6 seconds of BKB time?
All right, quick chat trivia. Who are the only 3 heroes with over 60% win rates in 30+ appearances at the International 2014? 60% win rate, so that's obviously counting out Skywrath Mage because he got screwed by the end of the tournament. So I know his win rate actually dropped below 60%.
Faceless Void had a pretty mediocre back and forth.
Yeah, I'm going to say Earthshaker's going to be up there. No, Shadow Shaman. Shadow Shaman will probably be the one person in this game.
Okay, I would be down with Shadow Shaman. I'm not sure. Faces Void had a really successful off-lane appearance, but we also saw him being picked up as a carry a few times, and it wasn't. I think he actually has a losing record.
Really?
From there. Yeah, surprisingly enough, he's way more successful as an off-lane hero.
I would consider flagging the Doombringer. I flag him up pretty high. Blink. Top lane, and now Invoker. Well, they start him over on that Rupture, and maybe there is enough damage. Try and beat through Jet and Ravish to follow up. She nicely positioned with the Fidget follow-up too. The Gyrocopter's going to go down. 2 for the price of 1. They'll take the top tower as well. A really good pick up there for DT because they've got themselves a big opening. There's no buyback on that Gyro. There is for the Invoker, but there's no buyback for Gyrocopter. Wow. They could do a lot of damage right now if they only just try and force the issue.
Yeah, the problem is they already used the BKB for the Bloodseeker, so I don't think they can actually go uphill off of this. They don't have the Ravage, they don't have the Echo Slam, and no BKB means Bloodseeker can't even hit the tower a couple of times. So they will be forced back, but yeah, that was still a great play. If they can force another team fight like that in 2 minutes' time, just continue to keep Kompas Gaming away from their base, away from that 5-man, and well, you're actually going to try and snag Aegis here, but
he doesn't have a Vladimir's offering. He can't do this solo. And they're being watched. Observers and sentries watching both of them coming in. Now the puck can just orb and coil, and there it is perfectly. Bloodseeker evaporates, Viper goes down as well. That was just a little overconfidence coming out from DT. The mistakes we made.
Yeah, trying to make the most, and part of that is on them for trying to go into the Roshan so early, but also part of it is on their allies for not immediately running to the Rosh pit. I mean, they had the Gyrocopter down guaranteed. At the very least, if they 5-man directly into the Roshan pit, they would have, like, ideally, they don't know that Gyrocopter didn't have a buyback, but they would go, okay, if he buys back, we just get out of the pit, right? And at least we forced something. We had that great team fight. We couldn't get anything out of it, but at least we forced a Gyrocopter buyback, and maybe that's an opening for later. But they didn't do that. Instead, they had 3 heroes farming up the mid lane while 2 went into the Rosh pit. In general, terrible. Skywrath Mage actually has a full Scythe of Ice.
Yeah.
This guy is huge.
He's had that for like 20 minutes as well. Like, there's so much money on this guy, it doesn't really matter. So it was Morphling, Doombringer, and Earthshaker. So I was right about the Doom. The Earthshaker was in there too. I was expecting Morphling though to be like a 20 for 12.
Shadow Shaman did have a good win rate though.
He really 55%, did, didn't he?
Considering the mass number of games that we saw him in.
I thought he'd be higher. So I was like wanting to pick both Earthshaker and Shadow Shaman to go with the Doombringer. Anyway, top lane push is now coming out from KPG, so they're staring down the tier 3 tower. Already with significant damage to that tier 3 tower. Trying to get an aggressive Observer Ward off, so Cops a Viper ulti for that one. Now that's not the nice thing for a Skywrath Mage, because he doesn't have a lot of life points to start with. They want the minion army to do the heavy work here, so they do get the orb down eventually. So concussive shot slowing down that Viper. And well, there goes your tower. Blink, Ravage, they get the Hex off, and the BKB's protecting that Enchantress, trying to force back PGG. Earthshaker getting forced after round 2. The one more Impetus that's not even needed. The call out and Flat Cannon doing the work from the Gyrocopter. The Bloodseeker chasing down kills. He's managed to pick up at least the Skywrath Mage, but he was the one that started at low life. And then 1 Hex to start with. The Orb's a little bit off target. I think he's just meant to be so he can join himself away. Didn't even have to do it at the end of the day. Rifted himself out. PGG TP's back. But this will be KPG ravaging the base here of DT. Even with the double buybacks now coming out here from DT, I really don't think they can defend this. They should lose the secondary racks.
Now, this is good on Kompas Gaming. They're really good with their positioning in team fights so far. They always have their Aegis hero in front, but I just want to point out that it's a 3rd team fight where they meet. The first hero went down was the Aegis hero.
Man, Bloodseeker. Cold snapped Hex, but still actually not going down here. But the Hex and, well, PGG. He's on the sidelines. There's almost 2 minutes on the sidelines for the Bloodseeker. There is no reason for Kompas Gaming to fall themselves back right now.
Nope, they're just going to be able to finish off the set of racks, and Kompas Gaming, I'm kind of impressed by them. I think their positioning, it was a very simple, like, straightforward. Once they had the advantage, they just had to make sure they didn't get picked off. But in general, their positioning in team fights was good. I think they're looking better than I saw them before. I've seen them a number of times in the Gigabyte Challenge, and, well, this game at least, they look like they've made some serious improvement.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing how they go in the next games. Of course, coming up next, we have our official schedule starting up, and that's going to be X Game going up against Coast, and winner of that will play up in the grand final up against, well, what will now be KPG and He